Well, I went to the thrift store for the first time in quite a while. I mean, it's been quite a while for me. I used to go about every week or every other week, and I know it's been a couple of months. So, but I got there at a good time. The whole store was 50% off. And I'm going to show you what all I got. I didn't get a whole lot, but I got stuff I needed or wanted. Yeah, I got this little red basket. It was 50 cents, so it made it a quarter, and I thought, if anything, that little handle, if I make something, is worth that. But I got that. And I got 2 more baskets. They had 2 more of these that were taller, but the reason I got these was for the craft room to put stuff in for storage, like material or something. And they were, I think they were $1 a piece. Yeah, but I don't see the tag. They were $1 a piece because I know the bigger ones had $1 on those. So that'd make these 50 cents a piece, and they're cute. Old style basket, good for storing things and putting things in your craft room. Then I went by the office supplies, which I always do, and I print up business cards. And, you know, I have business cards, and I was out of them, and I found these there. They have a price of $14.88, and they were 50 cents, so it made them a quarter. And there are 160 cards. So for 25 cents, it was well worth that. And then they also had, lift this up here. First off, I picked up this one here. I print a lot of paper. I mean, I use a lot of paper. And this was almost full. I'd say about this much has been taken out of it. And it was $1, so which made it 50 cents. I thought, that's well worth that. I'll go through that. I had just bought one, and it was almost $7 for that ream of paper. So 50 cents, yeah. Then I got to looking, and down on the bottom shelf was a brand new one. Never opened. And it was also $1, which made it 50 cents. So for $1, I got 2 reams of paper, and I paid almost $7 for it at Walmart. Then also in that area, I was just wanting one of these the other day. I don't even remember what for, and I thought I need to pick up one of those little divider things at the store sometime. And I come across this, and it looks brand new. It had $1 on it, so that was 50 cents. Something I needed and wanted. And another storage. This was 50 cents, so it made it a quarter. And it's well worth that. Then I went into the frames. And I didn't look real hard in the frames, but I happened to see this one. And it was $1, which made it a 50 cents. And it was actually from Hobby Lobby for $25.99. Of course, you know that would have been half price. That'd been what, $12.50? Be 24, 25. No, a little more than that. Anyways, I'm going to use this, you know, cover this up. And it's a wood frame. It was $1, so that was 50 cents. And then in the back in where the towels and all the draperies and the bedding and all that is, they have a bin that they have stuff stuffed in. And I think I paid about, let's see, they were about a quarter a piece. Yeah, because I think they were 50 cents a piece. So I got that doily and this one. And I put it away, and then when I need one, I'll go to my stash and get it. That's got a little stain on it. Doesn't matter because it usually just hangs off on one side anyway. All right, and then in the craft department, I only found 2 things there. I found this paint. I think they're new. Pretty much new. That's full. It has been open, but it's full. And the nutmeg, let's see about it. Nutmeg I use a lot. Nah, I think it's been opened. It's full. Yeah. But I paid These were $1 a piece, so I paid 50 cents a piece for the large container. 16 fluid ounces of each of these. Now this was a bright red. Don't use a lot of bright red, but with Christmas coming up, I probably will. That's well worth 50 cents and that. So that was my haul. I didn't get a lot, but stuff I can use. And now I'm going to go on to a project and start working on it. Okay, I did this with my laser. I found the pattern on Etsy. Of course, I'm always on Etsy looking. And it's an old scale. And it's pretty good size. I can't say it was the easiest thing for me to put together, because I couldn't figure a lot of stuff out. Like, well, for one thing, I had 2 of these that were supposed to fit down in there, and that little slot was not big enough, because she cut hers with a X tool, I believe. Anyways, her pattern, it wasn't working with mine. So I took and cut one out at a 3mm wood. This was the 1/4 inch, I believe. Yeah, the 1/4 inch. And this, I had one 1/4 inch and one an 1/8 inch, and it fit perfect. So I have to remember that when I go to do the pattern, or I'm going to have to make the hole bigger, which I'm not into that right now. I like just to get something out and cut. Anyways, I put it all together, and this is the scale part. If I can get it on there, I'll have to hang on to it. Where's my face? Oh, here's the face part. And the face didn't come with it, so I had to go find a face that I could use. Then this is the one I liked. But the dial, or the little arrow thing, it came with it. So I cut that out also with my laser. All these pieces are cut out, and she had a pattern and said to use the this is like my stencil film, clear, and she had a cut out. I mean, she had the pattern for you to cut it out. I used my Cameo to cut it out, but I got to thinking, I have 3 scales and not a one of them has a cover on it, so that wasn't needed. But it protects the paper, but I could have Mod Podged it. And anyways, it will go on. I'm going to try to put this down where you can see it. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. That's what it's going to look like. It really looks real. I saw hers, and it really does. It's really cute. Hopefully when I get it painted up, mine will look the same. So I'm going to, I want a green, and I really don't have any green but dark green. A lot of dark green. This is the only one I have, except for the sage green. And I don't think I have enough of it. And it was just a little lighter. I'm not sure. I put some on the underneath of this. This is the Moss by Waverly. And then this here is the Sage Green by Apple Barrel. But I don't think I have enough of it. But I really like that color. Oh, I have a half a bottle. Now I'm trying to think, which one do I use? Because I am going to put some wax and stuff on it. This might be too bright. I'm just going to go with the Waverly green. I think once I get it all covered, it'll look good. So, where's my brush? I got my brush. Let's see what that's going to look like. I think it will look good. I probably should have taken this out and sanded those edges where that black is. I didn't sand my wood. It's pretty smooth. Smooth enough for me. Oh, I think that's going to be all right. It'll dry just a little. It'll dry darker. I actually like the light color. Okay, I am going to carry on with painting the whole thing. All these pieces. And then I'm going to have to somehow age it, because it needs to be aged. These things are old. Half of mine, or my ones I have, they're really in bad shape. well, they work. They're in good shape as far as that, but they're rusty and crusty and old. Okay, I have it all painted. My hands are full of green paint and everything else. And I have decided, I put some on this to put the finishing wax as a special dark by Men Wax on it. And I did this side here, and it makes it look old. And then I took some of the decrepit dust and just went in the cracks like that to make it look old. That way, if it's up on my cabinet and it gets dusty, you'll never know. Anyways, I'm making it look old. That's the way I'm going to do it. Taking my wax here, and I'm just going to put it on. And while it is still wet, before it dries, I'm going to wipe it off some. And that also seals my wood. Okay, I need to make sure I get it good in the cracks of the crevices. That's where I'm going to put my decrepit dust. Okay, it's DIY's decrepit dust. It's just a brown dust looking stuff. And I'm going to put it there, and then I'm going to wipe in here, just kind of brush it on. It gives it that old touch. And if I feel like I have too much, let's do that. But I think that's fine. And I'm going to do this all the way around. Okay, now I have glued everything together, finished painting and putting the decrepit dust on and the wax, and I've glued the top on and the scale part, the scale face. And it looks pretty cute. All right, I'm finished with this one. I think I'll move on to something else. Okay, now I am going to make a mouse. This pattern's from Chestnut, Junction, and it's really, really cute. And I think this is perfect for fall, Christmas, well, every day. Just have it sitting out somewhere. It's really a cute pattern. So, I've got my muslin here, and it's doubled. And that was the body. And here's the ear. There'll be 2 ears. So I'll just cut them both at one time. I'm going to trace around with a pencil. And now I'm just going to cut these out. Well, actually, I'll cut the 2 ears out. And I'll just leave this on there because I'll go around and leave the opening right here to stuff it with. It's really cute. Okay, I sewed it up, left a spot for the opening, or an opening for the stuffing, and I messed up on his nose right in there, going around the corner going around the circle too fast. Tried to back up, didn't work, but it'll be all right. And this is a really simple pattern. Very simple. It doesn't take a lot to turn it inside out either. And the ear, you just cut it out. Well, I've already lost it. Oh, there it is. You just cut it out. And then it'll be sewn onto the head, each ear. It's not doubled. When I was first reading the pattern, I wasn't figuring out how to do the ear, but I caught it. Figured it out. So, it was really simple. Been simpler if I could have watched the video and somebody showed me how to do it. And I will leave the link to this pattern. So if you should happen to want to make some, they're really cute. I saw one on Pinterest. Had a mouse and it was on like one of those flat cheese graters. And it was, the mouse got the cheese or something like that's what they said. It was really cute. And these make cute little bowl stuffers, you know, to set in. That's probably what I'm going to do with mine. I made some, what was it, pears. And I have them in a bowl. And look cute sitting up there with the pears. It's the only kind of mouse I really like. One that's not real. And we have a lot of mice out here in the country. Okay, I need my stuffing. And now I'll just start stuffing it. I'll stuff the back end and then the nose part and then the center. And then I'll sew it up. And it'll be ready to sew the ears on, the eyes, the nose, and well, first I'll stuff it. And I'll sew the ears on, and then I'll paint it. Because I think I'm going to do it a gray color. You can do them any color you want them. Okay, well, I'm going to finish stuffing this. Okay, it says I measured from the nose. I measured off at 1.5 inches and I made a line. And then I took one of the little ears and I folded it in half. And I'm going to stitch it on about right there. I said to pin it to the head, which is what I'll do. And then I take and sew this ear onto the mouse. It won't take very many stitches. I think I got it. Let's see. I'll probably need one more stitch. Now I'll tie that off. Yep. Okay. After you have stitched across the ear, flip the ear up and stitch using the same needle and thread, hand stitch across the bottom of the ear. Just stitching the ear on both sides gives it the stability to stand up on its own. I wonder if I'm supposed to, I know, I'll just go back through this way. Get that on this end. And now I'm supposed to stitch coming back up this way. trying to see where it's coming in at. Okay, that'll work. This is supposed to be what makes the ear stand up. So yeah, that made it stand up. That's the way it looks. Okay, so I'm gonna just go underneath here, and I'm gonna go back over here. I need to do this. Fold it in half. Okay. Now, I'll start sewing from there. Okay. Well, trying to get that to lay. Oh, I gotta pin it. That's my problem. It would lay there, right, if I pinned it. All right, there we go. And now I'll stitch this ear across that way. Then I'll pull the pin up, flip the ear up, and stitch it back the other way. Okay, I have both of them sewn up, and they're both standing up, and then it says to exit the thread out the bottom of the mouse. And I'm going to do what she says. And I'll kind of push that a little bit. There, and it just goes, it feeds back up in there. And there are the ears. Okay, from there, I need to paint it. So I need to find what paint. She did hers, she says, in gray, white, and brown. Oh, I never did show you a picture of them, did I? Okay, that's how you do the eyes. I'm not going to do those right now. I got to remember where I laid that needle. There's a picture. This is it. Aren't those just cute? Okay, my little mouse, I'm going to paint gray. I'm spraying water on there so the paint will smear on a little easier. Okay, well, I'm going to finish this up. Now, my mouse is painted, and it said to kind of go over it with the paint with the sand it a little bit, and I did that. And now for the eye, it said to cut a piece about 18 inches long and come up from, I've got the places marked where I want the eye, and come up in the middle and go to where you're wanting the eye. I think I need my glasses. Well, about right there. Whoa, there we go. And it said to leave about a couple inches hanging out the bottom. That's about right. And I'm supposed to go back and forth about 6 times on each eye. So I'm going to go here. And then I'm going to go back over here where I have that eye marked. Down just a tiny bit. And I'm going to pull it back through. I'll go back over here. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to be pulling it tight too. Just so it has a little bit of an indent. Okay, which side did I forgot about that. Maybe I can do it now. Yeah, there we go. I'm going to kind of come back over this way and go back to the other side. And go back over here. Get off my ear. I think that's going to be about enough. Okay. I'm just going to go back through here. I'm going to go on this side. This eye needs a little more on the, little bigger. I can tell where I'm getting it. I'm going to go back over this way. And then I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to come out the bottom. Yep. So I'm going to come back out the bottom. Ow. It's not wanting to come. I have to get my pliers to get it out. My needle nose. There we go. Okay, there's his eyes. And now you just clip this off. And there's his eyes. And now I'm going to do his whiskers. Now we will do the whiskers. And the whiskers are supposed to be about 4, each piece about 4 inches long. But I'm just going to go ahead and keep this on here. Okay. I'm going to make it long enough so I can tie it. And I am just going to cut that off. Oh, come on. And now I'll do another strand, go through. Good enough. Now I'll cut this end off. And now we will put a knot, just tie each 2 pieces in a knot. I'll tie it one more time, make sure it's tied good. There we go. Do this side. And then it says after you do this, you cut your whiskers off to about 1 inch. Okay, about like that. All we have left is the tail. There's the little whiskers. Probably about right in here. Just gonna feed that up through there. Take my needle off. And I'm gonna tie this in a knot. Tie it one more time. And that. Okay, I'll cut this off. And I think that's probably maybe just a little bit long. Like that. And it is finished. That was not hard. And that turns out really, really cute. There's the eyes. The little ears sticking up. You have your tail. And it's finished. That was not hard at all. Alright guys, I think that does it for this video. And until the next one, we'll see you later.